So this is how to take a DXF file and put it into vCarve and work with it from there. So you start with your job setup. You set the width and height of your piece of wood, and then you measure and set the thickness to be exactly what you measured. You always want to start at the top, so that's going to zero it from the top. Then you set your origin, and usually default inches, then you hit OK. And we already have one. So we're going to open our vCarve. Okay, you can start. Okay, so now we're going to go to File and Import Vectors. And I'll select the DXF that I want, and it'll come down here in the corner. Going to want to get rid of the text by just highlighting and hitting delete. Now we'll move the rest of this onto the page.
Okay, so what we're doing now is we're taking any shape that we want to be like cohesive and take all the vectors involved in that shape and select them because we want to join them together into one object. So I clicked J for join and then just hit join. But if you notice, there's a little bit of a gap here because it treats these two objects as separate. So what we're going to do to get around that is we're going to make a copy of this shape right here, paste it right where it is, and then we're going to move one copy of it up an arbitrary number, let's say an inch. So now we're going to take this copy that we've made and we'll click the scissor icon and we're going to trim off everything that we don't want. And now we should be able to join and have one object. So right now what we want to do is make a toolpath for cutting out the holes that will hold the magnets. So I'm going through and I'm selecting everything that's going to hold a magnet that I want to be cut on this toolpath. Let's see.
This is after you've finished editing all the DXF files.
So I've got all my magnets selected. And so since I'm just following an edge on this cut, I'm going to make a profile toolpath. And these guys specifically, you want them to be 0.125 inches deep. I select the tool that I want to use to cut it. In this case, I'm using an 1/8 inch router bit. I already have the settings preset. So I click OK. And then, should I go inside or outside?
We should go inside. Inside, since these are interior holes. So you want the bit to start on the inside and rotate around the inside to make the interior hole.
Alright, so we're all set. We can calculate and it'll show us a preview of the path. Alright, so next what I did was I selected all my cuts that are going to be 0.1 inches deep. And essentially I can just group those into the same toolpath because even though they're different objects, they're going to be the same depth. So I just selected all of those. And because I'm cutting within these boundaries, I made it a pocket toolpath. I set the depth for 0.1 inch, selected my same tool, and I should be good. There you go.
Okay, once you have all your interior toolpaths selected, you're going to want to go over here and select all of the exterior shapes, because now you need to cut them out so that you have the layers for your module. Now you're going to want to go to Profile Toolpath, and we have it set to a cut depth of 0.275 because the thickness of the material is 0.225, and you want to cut past the material so that you make sure you cut all the way through. We have the right end mill selected. We want to make sure that we're now cutting to the outside, since you want material taken away from the outside of your layer as opposed to the inside. And now we can name this cutting out and calculate. It'll warn you that you're cutting past the depth of your material, but that's okay because there is extra material below, so you can just hit OK. And now everything is cut out.
Alright, so once you have all your tooth paths generated, you just want to save them somewhere. So I click that button right there, that's the save button. And then, personally, we're cutting them one at a time. Just because it makes it a little bit easier to see if you're messing up during the process. So you just click one, hit save, and go through and save them all.
So now we're going to cut the parts that we had previously selected a toolpath for. We're going to go to File, and hit there. And we'll select and open